on the runway right now, huh? This is one of the runways.
Oh, that's why I was taking video.
Yeah, I'm glad you got the video because I'm going to keep the audio for this one because we're on the runway. We're on the runway with the vehicle.
How often do you get to do that?
How often? You don't get to do that often. They probably need the tickets for the parking. Actually isn't the runway, but they told us that this is the taxi. What would you call it?
Taxiway?
Taxiway? I don't know what they. This is where the planes taxi.
They go to the end of the runway.
We need a taxi. Look, there's a parachutist coming down there.
It's a video. See the UFO there?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's radar. So we are at the Turku Airshow today. Turku was the first capital of Finland until the early 1800s when the capital was moved to Helsinki. So let's go ahead into the air show and let's see what we can see. Already some planes in the air and hoping to see a lot more interesting things today. So let's go ahead inside. They're giving tours of the inside of this NATO plane. It seems people are going up inside now. And the line goes all the way back to there. So it's going to be a little bit of a wait. I don't know how fast, but we'll try to get into that a little bit later. So if I understood this correctly, these planes were flown here from the United States because they're trying to sell these planes to Finland, so that these planes would also be in Finland. I think Finland uses mainly MiGs and F-16s, I think, right now. But this is an interesting plane, and in just a second I'm going to do a bit of an interview that we did with the representative here, and he'll tell you exactly about these planes. And it's all yours.
All right, Lieutenant Colonel Chris Eberth. I'm from the 3D8th Operations Group at Hill Air Force Base. Here in Turku, Finland, at the air show with an F-35A. We've got two F-35As here. Just showing them to the local folks here, getting a lot of great questions about the F-35. Happy to be here. Really like the area. Never thought I'd have a chance to come to Finland. F-35, I've been flying it about 2 years. I think it's a fantastic airplane. I came from the F-16, and to me it's just a fundamental difference between the F-16 and the F-35. So it flies very similarly, but once you're in the air and starting to use the electronics and the systems, it's just so much better. All the information is fused onto one screen. The whole battle space picture I can just see with a glance, whereas in the F-16 I had to do a lot of work to try to figure out what's going on. This plane just fuses it all together and shows me exactly what's going on. That combined with the stealth just makes it a much more capable, survivable airplane than what I'm used to and what I flew before in the F-16.
Nice. Are these stationed at a certain base in the U.S. more than another base?
We're from Hill Air Force Base in Utah. There's several bases that fly the F-35 in America right now.
Okay. All right. And where are you from? What state?
I'm from Washington State.
Washington State.
Yes.
All right. Very nice meeting you today.
Nice to meet
and
you.
Thanks for answering the questions.
Thanks. Enjoy the air show.
Bye-bye. So we're now in the Lockheed Martin area, and it looks like they have some simulators here, and you can try to crash your own plane. I mean fly your own plane. So you can get a little bit closer here and see what's going on with the simulation. Here we have another simulation called cockpit area for this one. So that you can, looks like it'd be a little bit of fun to do. Full cockpit simulator.
Okay. Hi, my name is Scott Davis. I'm with Lockheed Martin. We're at the Turku Airshow. We're very fortunate that the U.S. Air Force flew 2 F-35s into the Turku Airshow. This is the first time the F-35 has been in Finland. We waited a long time to have the F-35 at an airshow, and we finally succeeded in doing that. But one of the things that we want to show Finland is how different the F-35 is from all the other fighters out there. I personally spent 30 years in the U.S. Air Force before joining Lockheed Martin. I flew a variety of different fighters in the U.S. Air Force. One of them, the last fighter I flew, was the F-22. The F-22 is what we call a 5th generation fighter. And the way that numbering sort of works is since the end of World War II, as jet fighters were developed, the first jet fighters after World War II were the first generation of airplanes, and so on. So now we're on the 5th generation. There are 2 operational 5th generation fighters in the world, the F-22 that I mentioned, and then the F-35, which we've now delivered 400 plus of them operationally. There are quite a few other 5th generation fighters that are being developed in other parts of the world now. So China has 2 5th generation fighters that they are developing. Russia has 1. And now we have some consortiums in Europe, one led by the French, one led by the British, that are also working on 5th generation fighters. So I want to talk maybe a little bit about what makes a 5th generation fighter a 5th generation fighter. So I mentioned I had a lot of time flying airplanes in the Air Force. I did fly the F-22, but before that I flew the F-16, the F-18, which Finland is flying right now, and did I say F-16, F-18, and F-15? So those are the 3 that I flew. Those are all 4th generation fighters, and at the time they're very capable. But the thing that distinguishes a 5th generation fighter from the 4th generation fighters is, first of all, what we call stealth or low observability, and I'll talk about that a little bit, but also that the way that the airplane in 5th generation fighters manages the sensors automatically for the pilot. It's called sensor fusion, and it basically is able to turn the pilot from a sensor operator into a tactician instead, and I'll talk about that a little bit. So first about the low observability. The airplane is not quote-unquote literally invisible, obviously not to the naked eye, but also what low observability means is there are times that you may be able to detect the 5th generation fighter, but there's a big difference between detecting something and being able to track and shoot it. And that's what the 5th generation fighter gives you, is because the way it's designed and shaped and coded, adversary radar systems cannot track and shoot the F-35. The F-22 was built with the same principles in mind. I went out on many a mission flying the F-22 against fourth generation fighters like the F-15 that I'd flown previously, and they literally cannot ever find you. They're dead before they get to the visual arena every time. So that's a great capability for a nation's Air Force to have, especially nations like Finland that are perhaps we would just say in a rough neighborhood. I want to talk a little bit about the sensor integration as well. So the F-35, it's a low observable airplane. So all the sensors are built into the skin of the airplane or behind windows that are more or less flush with the skin. They're all networked together, not just on the airplane, but with other airplanes that fly with the F-35 in a data link. The information is collected automatically. I remember when I was flying the F-15, I would have to run the radar with one hand, look at the radar warning receiver with the other hand, look at the data link that's coming in here, look at another display for navigation. Sorry, I'm not getting all this on your camera, but it was very, very labor intensive. So when I said, you know, you're a sensor operator in one of these airplanes, you're really, really busy working. In the F-35, in pre-mission planning, you tell the airplane, hey, here are the threats I expect to face today, here are their characteristics, and the sensors on the airplane now take care of everything, finding air threats, ground threats. And so now you are able to make some intelligent decisions about, okay, I'm protecting, let's say, this piece of ground right here. Maybe there's an Army, friendly Army unit you're protecting. I have some enemy airplanes coming from over here. I have some coming from over here. I have an enemy surface-to-air missile over here. First of all, none of them can see me, but now I can make some intelligent decisions about which of those might be the biggest threat to my ground forces, and I can go ahead and attack them.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
That's what the F-35 brings.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
syyskuuta lähtien meillä on vähän yhteisilmakuljetuksia lentävät. Siinä on erilaisia lentotehtäviä myös Rajavartiolaitokselle. Nämä lentopäätökset eivätkä niin vakavia.
some pins. Just focusing on that. One of the planes here. And a couple little posters. Not really sure what this is, but we're going to check it out when we get home on the internet and see what that is. And another photograph. And oh, what do we have here? A bag. And these are giveaway. Wow. And a bag too. Thank you very much. Okay, so I asked what this is, and it's actually a camera cover for your laptop, for your computer, so that no one can spy on you when you're on your computer. It just covers up the camera. So yeah, and this is a little gift from the Finnish military. Yeah, so there you go. It's a camera lens cover. So they were giving away these hats here. So I'm really not exactly sure what this is. It's Untitled Touch. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not, but yeah, they're giving away some baseball caps in here. And it looks like they have some models over here. Take a look at that. Roughly B scale 110. So obviously this is a plane company. So there you go. And hey, giving away free hats. How can you have any more fun at an air show?
Good morning, I am Corporal Dodger for the Typhoon display team here in Finland. We have brought one of our mighty aircraft over here to show it to the Finnish public, to see what your opinion is and how you think and whether it's the future of your Air Force. This is one of our jets that has been used in the display for training, so maybe not as shiny and as clean, but it has been proven as a very capable fighter in a multi-role position. Hopefully today you'll get to see the display by our pilot Jim Pearson, and we can convince the public to have us back in next year for another air show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, that was the 2019 Royal Air Force Typhoon display.
Royal Air Force Typhoon.
And to answer your question about Boeing and Finland, Boeing has a long history with the Finnish industry. We've been here for over 25 plus years as part of the classic Hornet program. Back in the 90s, they bought 64 F-18 classic Hornets from us, and as part of that, we've engaged the industry to help maintain and operate those aircraft here in Finland. As you can see, some of the companies that we are currently working with as part of our social partners are Patria, Insta, Nesta, and VTT. There's amongst these are our main partners. We also, as part of that procurement back in the 90s, we had an offset requirement, which we were able to execute with over 220 Finnish companies, and executed that at $3.3 billion worth of offset value back into Finland. So, and how that ties into what we're looking to do now. Absolutely. So, in terms of like what we're looking at for the industrial participation, what we're offering now for the Super Hornet and Growler that we're offering.
Yeah. So and that translates perfectly. Establishes the relationship exactly to set us up for the next generation, right? So with those partnerships, you build on it. With the new technology that we're offering with Super Hornet Block 3 and the Growler, we can take those relationships and apply that straight for the next generation, so that continues on well into up until the full life cycle of the aircraft. So it's many things that we can build on and then offer with these based on our previous relationships.
Yeah. So the big thing for us is we're hoping to continue that 25-year relationship for another, hopefully 30. 40 years, who knows how long. Like I said, as Grant mentioned, the life cycle of the airplane. So and as part of this relationship, we had Boeing employees there to stand up the program. I actually just recently moved to Finland, so I'm here to help run the campaign and hopefully win the competition. And then, if that's the case, we will then provide more Boeing employees here in the future to help kick off that next 20 or 30 years of relationship with Finland.
Okay. that brings us to the end of the Turku Airshow. So I hope that you found something in there that was interesting to you. It was interesting hearing what the Americans are doing along with Finland as far as their military and so forth. I hope you found that interesting. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button and make sure to hit that bell notification so that you'll receive a message every time we do a video. And remember to hit that subscribe button so that you can be a part of everything that we do here. And remember to look for the magic wherever you are.